If you're a Chelsea fan right now, you might want to turn away. You just might want to turn away because it's getting dark now. We've reached the stage of, yeah, it's beyond embarrassing. I always feel like you get to embarrassment kind of early. Um, and then you start telling yourself and you start telling your friends like, I don't even really care. When you go, but like I've got that with Liverpool. And you're like, I'm not embarrassed. I just don't care. Yeah, like I'm not even watching the games. I'm not even checking out to see what's kind of going on because if the team are not going to put in that effort, if the team are not going to at least show some form of commitment, why should I? I ain't getting paid for this. Do you know what I mean? I'm not getting paid to watch my team look shit. They're getting paid to be shit. And at this moment in time, for Chelsea fans, I can imagine that's probably how you lot are feeling. You guys are doing this shit for free. And for when you're doing this for free, yeah, like I said, it gets dark. It gets dark. 3-0 against Brighton away. I mean, listen, Brighton have been doing well this season. Don't get it twisted. And they've now obviously moved ahead of Chelsea, in the table. But I mean, like, honestly, watching the game, I said, the problem that Chelsea, if we're just talking from just purely football, forget all the other stuff, all the outside noise and whatever. If we're just talking about the game in itself, you didn't even look like you tried. Like the players didn't even look like they tried. And obviously, I've not been watching a lot of Chelsea recently. Just been seeing their results. I saw the game, obviously, of course, against Manchester United, and I thought you weren't even crap in that game. So when people complain about recent results and stuff, I thought, oh, maybe just luckily when I tuned in, they weren't that bad. Do you know what I mean? I didn't think they were. Oh, this is just absolutely awful. But of course, you still lost the game. Now you come to this game against Brighton, where obviously you knew before the game if you lost to Brighton, they will go ahead of you. And now, like I said, it is dark. It is dark right about now. When you're looking at the league table, I mean, like I said, you're sitting in seventh. Like it's bad. Like you're sitting in seventh place. Like you're level with. Oh my god! Like guys, are we seeing this? If Brentford, Bournemouth, Everton, Sunderland, if they all win their games in hand, obviously, they might all like one of them might be playing, or two of them might be playing against each other. So I don't actually know. But if they're not and they all win their games in hand, you could drop down to like 11th. And really and truly, if it wasn't for the fact that Fulham have got such a poor goal difference, they'd be ahead of you as well if they won their game in hand. Like you could be slipping down to like 11th, 12th. Brother, this ain't game week. Like, we're not on game week like 17 or 15 or something like that. We're literally, as you guys can see, we're like game week 33, 34. We're close to the end of the season. Like this is the part of the season that you kind of need to be picking up these points and showing something towards the back end of the season. You know what I mean? Like this is the part where you show the fans, listen, look, it might have not been a great season, but at least towards the back end, we've got something to at least have a base and a foundation for going into next season. Cole Palmer, speaking, in the media, I think was it just before the United game or one of the games recently. Lee Rosenior obviously talking before games and all of this kind of stuff, like all of this talk. Caicedo signing a new deal. You're thinking, okay, yeah, maybe you guys are gonna nah. And like I said, it's just getting darker and darker and darker. Guys, it's been 114 years. Chelsea have lost 5 league games in a row without scoring for the first time since 1912, the year the Titanic sank. The year the Titanic sank, guys. Are you deep in this? Are you deep in this? This is the kind of levels that Chelsea have now gotten themselves into. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't think it'll be this bad. Obviously, technically they're still in 7th position at the time of this video. So you could look at it from that kind of angle, right? And they're in the semi-final, to be fair, of the FA Cup. And they've got that obviously this weekend. So you can look at it from that kind of angle. And they won the award for giving PSG a game before they ended up getting slapped in that same game. But you know what? Chelsea fans were happy with the sheer fact that they were in the game, apparently, right? So cool. I'll give them that. I'm not even trying to make fun or even argue with that point. I'll leave that down to you guys. The sheer fact that it's been so long that you've gone this amount of time where 5 games in a row that you've lost, and in all of those games you've not scored one. They've had a lot of shots on target from what I saw the other day. Quite a lot of shots on target. You got players like Liam Delap. I kept telling people in the summer, like, he is not good. People were trying to convince me like there was no tomorrow that this Liam Delap guy would be a good, shrewd signing. And I was like, yeah, maybe for like Brentford. And even they probably thinking, oh, thank God we got Thiago. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe a Burnley or something like that. Any team basically like who just came up from the Championship. Even Sunderland probably wouldn't even deal with him. But if he went there, that would have made a bit more sense. You go to that type of team. I saw Didier Drogba speaking about Liam Delap the other day, and the type of player that he is. Like it's just not. He's got 1 goal. Like I know he's been injured, and I know he doesn't start, but 1 goal. This coming from a guy who scored how many goals for Ipswich last season for a team who got relegated. Like, and he's just looked poor anyway. But that's just another poor signing from Chelsea anyway. That's just, like, it's one of many. Garnacho, Gittins, even Hato don't even look all that. But you know what? I have enough faith in him. Joao Pedro obviously is an absolute baller. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We know Cole Palmer is an absolute baller, not a problem. But you've signed so many players, you've had more misses than hits. That doesn't even make sense. You can't spend that type of money and have more misses than hits. That's dumb. Like that's actually stupid. And now they've got themselves in this whole financial kind of, situation. I saw it. I saw this here, and again, I'm not going to go too deep into this because, again, that might be something a little bit separate. But you can see, look, the companies who own Chelsea, where the money comes from, the huge interest costs not shown on clubs' books, the £500 million loan due in 2033. I mean, ain't got long left. Operating and wage costs cut by just 6 million. Obviously, just talking about what it means for UEFA rules, what it means for transfers and player sales. Remember, they've got that transfer ban coming in. Blueco has committed more than £4 billion on its Chelsea project in almost 4 years. That is £1 billion per year. Crazy. It is the biggest deployment of private equity strategy football has ever seen. And they're asking here, will it work? Will it work? Brother, that thing is dead. That thing is dead. Like like if you're gonna spend that kind of bread, right, with that type of money, you're gonna need to like see almost like a return relatively quickly. You know what I mean? Like you unfortunately, this ain't like a League where you're PSG and you can get the best players in the entire league and no one else really has a chance kind of thing. So you can get Zlatan, you can get a Cavani, you can get a Lavezzi, you can get a Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, all these kind of like players, right? You can get all of these guys, Messi and all of that kind of stuff. And obviously you've got far better players than the rest of the league. I don't understand Chelsea's strategy. Like, I don't get it. I need a Chelsea fan who might be watching this to explain what is your project under Blueco. Now, I know a lot of fans don't like Blueco, so big up to yourselves, because that's one thing I do respect about Chelsea fans is that if you don't like your ownership or you don't, if you just don't like the way things are going, you will voice that. That's something I always say to people as a fan. That's something we can do. We can actively do something about that because we can voice our opinion in some way, shape or form, whether it's stopping going to games, whether it's protesting, whether it's voicing our opinions in any type of way. Chelsea do that. And they have obviously done that just, in recent times, obviously under Blueco. Now, I'm not going to get into that whole thing. Like I said, that might be a separate video. But when I'm talking about Chelsea, the Chelsea that I can't even say really, I'm going to say grew up on, but let's say since Roman Abramovich era, right? I'm a 90s baby, so I knew Chelsea prior to the money. I've seen them with the money. They've still got the money. Now they just shit with the money. You know what I mean? They don't know how to spend it properly. But under that Roman Abramovich, again, you were in an era, you were in a time where we're not in the same space anymore. You got Liam Rosenior. Now, listen, he's probably a nice guy. He's probably really, really cool, whatever kind of things. Players can relate to him and, down to earth, all that kind of stuff, right? Cool, not a problem. Chelsea have had periods where they've had managers like a Rosenior, the VS Boases of this world. They've had managers like this, the Gus Hiddincks type of people, like the Di Matteos. Let me not say Gus Hiddink because he's actually a somebody. Let me say like a Di Matteo. You've had those type of guys, yeah, where you're just like, this ain't what we want. Ancelotti, we want Jose Mourinho, we want Conte, we want Tuchel. These are the big boy kind of managers, right? When you've had those managers, you've had obviously your level of success, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, things like that. When you've had these other types of managers, not even to say you've not had success, which does make me think maybe Chelsea could win the FA Cup, depending on obviously what happens, kind of thing. But it's you can see that the kind of direction, it's just not really there. Like, and at this moment, I said this from the beginning. I like some of the young players that you have signed. I think you signed, which is funny. I think you've signed some decent young players, right? Even the ones that maybe they're not really working at. Like Gittins is okay. Like these are decent players, but you're signing bare of them though for quite a bit of money. You're not signing like, we sign like a couple here, a couple there, and then they stay, and then we develop them, and they've been here for like 4 or 5 years, and then we can see what happens. Brother, you're signing one player today, and then you're selling them tomorrow. That's not the Chelsea I remember, in the early part. Anyway, I don't really know that kind of show. Yeah, you might have done it every now and again. Yeah, I'm trying to say like every so often. But you had the right kind of players that you were signing. You're a team that just lacks the experience as well. And I'm like, you can't have spent this amount of money and all you're just putting out is just a bunch of just inexperienced players who on their day can just be, Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, Esteval, like on their day. But then you're trying to supplement it with players like Neto and the Garnachos of this world. And, of course, Enzo and Caicedo are two really, really good players. Like I rate them. Do you know what I mean? They're actually good players. They could go to many other teams across Europe, kind of thing. Some of the top teams across Europe. But it's not even necessarily about that in itself of you must have the best players and this, that, and the third. But you just got to get the right players. And with the type, and I think why people always get onto you is for the type of money that you guys have had and you've been able to spend, for the sheer fact that you've spent it in this way, and these are the results that we're getting. You big up your chest, big up to yourself. You won the Club World Cup. Well done. We give you the clap. We gave you the applause. I'm sorry, but you guys need to be in some type of title race or something with that kind of money. These times you're laughing at Arsenal for spending how much with Arteta throughout this whole time, and you're laughing at Arsenal. I promise you guys are worse. I promise you guys are worse. Like promise, because you guys actually look horrible, and it looks like it's not getting any better. And I don't really, like I said, I watched the game and I just said, this is embarrassing. Danny Welbeck's coming off the bench and he would walk into your team. I don't care what you do with Joao Pedro. And again, I think he's a top player, but guess what? I don't care. I don't care. He would walk into your team. And if it means Joao Pedro has to sit on the bench, he sits on the bench because I'm more confident in him scoring. I promise you, I'm more confident in him. I'm looking at some of the Brighton players and I'm saying, why? Like you spent all this time taking all of this Brighton staff and Brighton players, and this is what's happening. It's like when everyone's trying to copy Pep Guardiola, we just get reborn version. That's exactly what's happening with Chelsea. You're just getting this reborn version. Now, whether they stick with Liam Rosenior or not, like I said, he might be a nice dude. I'm not even trying to get onto him like that. Again, tactically, I think at times he's a little bit naive more than anything else. Like I don't know. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into his tactics. Watch my video on his tactics in a general sense. But I do think at times he can be naive. And I felt against Brighton, they were a little bit naive. But I don't put that defeat down to him, though. I really don't. Like, I looked at that and said, bro, that's a player thing right there. You can see that from a mile off. The way the players are playing, like Garnacho, who's been getting a lot of stick recently, even him coming on was a little bit of a lift. But the rest of the team, nah. The players that I needed to, as much as I rate Enzo, as much as I rate Caicedo, they were nowhere to be seen. Absolutely nowhere. These are supposed to be your £100 million players, and they've been putting in some dead performances. Trust me, they've not been a bag of chips all season. Do you get what I'm saying? They've had odd moments randomly in the season, but that's about it. 100 million on both of them, and they're telling me we're struggling to make even a top 5. Heck, we've even extended from top 4 to top 5, and you're still struggling. And you look awful. Like you actually look so bad, like so bad. And this is the position. Yeah, nah, just throw you lot in the bin. You lot are finished. You're finished. I don't know where you go from here. I don't know what you do from here, but I promise you, you are finished. You are finished. Like I really don't know. Like unless you just say F it and you just say we don't even care about any repercussions. We're just gonna sign all the biggest bad boys that you can think of. We're gonna just pay the belly and then we'll deal with the repercussions later, which is not gonna happen, I don't think. Then I don't know. But this project, this let's sign the next no, no, no. That's not how you do things. For a team, for a club that knows how to win, you seem to act like you don't know how to win. And I think that's more embarrassing for me when I'm looking at it from the outside looking in. I'm like, this is supposed to be someone I respect because of the way that they did things. I like that. I was like, yeah, these lot are serious. You're not moving like that now. You're moving like a club that's never been here before. Don't know what is going on, don't know what to do. And that's an indictment on your football club. And that's something you guys are gonna have to live with. But Chelsea fans, man, let me know. Let me know, man, because right now I'm saying you're finished. I'm saying you're finished, man. Like, don't worry about next season. Don't worry about you know what? It doesn't even matter if you win the FA Cup. You're still dead and you're still finished. You know what I'm saying? The FA Cup ain't gonna do nothing for you. Trust me. It doesn't do anything for you. If anything, it's when Manchester United won it with Eric Ten Hag. It's the same thing. You're still dead. You're still finished. You need to get rid of the manager. Unfortunately for him, I don't know who you get in. If you can maybe entice Jabi Alonso, then maybe. But you're gonna have to really stick with a project that he wants to do. But I doubt that's going to happen. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Let me know your thoughts, man. Really, really let me know your thoughts. Chelsea fans, I'd love to hear from you in terms of just how you're feeling right now. Like, what's it saying down there in Southwest? What's it saying? Give me a shout. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.